All right, fight fans. Ram here with another edition for Ram at the Fights. Tonight, I'm very honored to have as a guest a boxing legend, a Chicago legend. He's a boxing Hall of Famer, former Golden Gloves champs, 1983. He fought in Puerto Rico. He fought George Foreman. He was also a former actor, now boxing promoter. My pleasure to have as a guest tonight, Bobby Hitz. Bobby,
Hey,
how are you?
good. I'm still an actor too. Still
Oh, still? Oh, okay, okay.
former child actor, but I'm still an actor. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I didn't make the research on the IDMB
Yep. Yeah. Look out
website.
there. Yeah. I have a
Okay.
stuff. Yep.
So, Bobby, I really appreciate you doing this. I know you have an upcoming boxing card on April 19. It will be at the Hard Rock Cafe, Rockford, Illinois. It will be featured by the handsome heavyweight, Deontay Pettigrew versus Richard Larty.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the card?
Well, I can tell you that main event. First of all, you have Pettigrew, who's number 14 in the world in the WBA. We'll be fighting for a WBA title on that night. Richard Larte is the guy. Last time he was here in Chicago, he had a big upset um, against a Polish heavyweight, Andrei Varchek. And so after the fight, on the same show, Pettigrew fought, and after the fight, Larte went in the ring and called him out. And then after the fight was over with, he went and got in his face and told him, "I want to fight you." And so this is a fight that's been about a year in the making. So we were able to finally make this fight. And there's a lot of bad blood between these two guys. So I'm really excited to see this matchup because anytime you have two heavyweights that have a grudge against each other, boy, you're in for some fireworks, And then the undercard is going to be stacked. I have one of my new signings out of Detroit, Michigan, Marlon Harrington, who's 11-1 with 10 knockouts, big monstrous puncher. Lucas Moldenhauer, um, uh, Eddie Oliveros. Who else on this show? Oh boy. You know, I get so worked up with I can't even remember who's on the show. It's such
No,
a big show.
no,
Visual, visualize. I mean, let's see who else on it. Um, my new guy, Kiwan Gibbous, a kid out of Poland. I signed a new junior middleweight out of Poland. He's on the show. He's trained by former light heavyweight champion Andres Fanfara. Trains him. Um, Rick Ramos is Oliveras. Lucas is trained by Pat White. We just have a great show put together for you, and I'm excited about this event.
how this car come together with in conversation with the Hard Rock Cafe, how everything
Yeah, this is a brand new facility. And so since they started building it, we've been in talks about having the contractor to do a series of events. I don't like to do one offs. I like to do a series so we can build up some continuity and some consistency. So as the property was being built, we kept on going and doing site surveys and being involved in kind of pointing out some things how the arena would look with fights, and we finalized our deal, and here we are ready to kick off our first event of the year.
no, it looks great. I was amazed by all the graphics, the venue. I saw some footage of the venue that you post on your Instagram page, and everything looks amazing, Bobby.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, and I'm excited about the return of casino boxing here in our area. Um, and I got to tell you, I'm just really excited for this fight. I'm excited for our relationship with the Hard Rock. Hard Rock is a tremendous, tremendous casino. They're building a new hotel. It's a brand new facility. The facility's only been open since I think August. So August will be 1 year. So it hasn't been open that long. And so they have music acts going in, but this the arena where the fights are is state of the art, $1 million sound system. I mean, it's
Wow.
beautiful. They thought of everything, and I'm really excited about promoting my events at this venue.
So, Bobby, I'm gonna ask. I moved to the Midwest like about 8 years ago.
Okay.
I'm a big boxing fan. I'm I'm from Puerto Rico. We have a tradition of boxers, and when I moved here, the Midwest, I didn't notice a big scene here on the boxing scene until I think I told you this before the interview, but I heard about you first and from the November card, and then that's when I start following you. And I say, oh, I finally found somebody who's putting boxing events together here in the Midwest. Is your goal in the future keep making these cards and eventually have world title fights here in Illinois or some part of the Midwest?
Well, I've been promoting here for over 30 years. So we've had our run of HBO, Showtime, ESPN, USA back when boxing was in its heyday. So anything that's been done, we've already done that. Now
Okay.
we're having a rebirth, and boxing is um, kind of limited itself as far as accessibility to network television and all that. So I just keep plugging along and just doing what I do. We do just great local fights, and once we build some talent, like they say, you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
So when it happens, we'll be able to bring a championship fight back here. The last time I did a championship fight in Chicago was with Acelino Freitas and Rancho Ramirez on Showtime Championship Boxing, along with my great friend and partner Art Palulo, who was Acelino's promoter. And we brought this great big championship boxing fight here to Chicago, and that was some years ago. And that was the first championship fight in 25 years here in Chicago. It's a long time in the making, but you also need the talent, and talent comes around every decade or so. You get a guy who's hot, and right now, Chicago's dying for that next superstar, and it's anybody's platform. And I'm literally hoping that Deontay Pettigrew becomes that next guy. I really believe he has everything it takes. He's articulate. He's a gentleman. He's a mean guy in the ring. He has everything it takes to be a world champion. So I'm excited about his future, and being a former heavyweight, I'm
Yeah.
excited to be working with the top ranked heavyweight.
And speaking about the Ante Pettigrew, I had seen on your page, you're also promoting him a lot and speaking well about him. Uh, uh, how with him having a spectacular victory on April 19, uh, you think that will put him close to a title fight or a couple of fights close?
Well, right now we're number 14 in the WBA, so which means we're in contention. We'll break into that top 10 hopefully by the end of the year, and then we have to go make it happen. So we're close. We're there. We're close.
So you told us already that there's some bad blood between them.
Yeah.
Is there any other match on the card that the fans should keep an eye on that you heard backstage? Hey, these guys don't get along each other. For the fans have a expectation.
Marlon Harrington fight will not be another one because the kid he's fighting is a tough guy, and kind of like my Chihuahuas fighting in the background over there. Yo, you got two little puppy Chihuahuas. All they do is fight all day long. Tough hombres, those Chihuahuas. Anyway, uh, uh, they those two guys, they saw each other fight on the show, and they've been mincing some words here. So I think that's going to be a great fight. I mean, everybody that's coming out to fight on our platform comes to fight, and so bad blood is kind of a thing that's kind of overplayed. When a guy truly wants to come after somebody like Larte does against Pettigrew, that's the fight I'm looking forward to seeing.
No, great. Yeah, no, no. I'm telling you that for what you have tell me and what I seen on your page, the car is looking good, and I will try to make everything possible to assist to the car because it looks good.
Yeah,
So
you have to make sure you come down. You're close.
yeah. I will try. With family and stuff, sometimes I don't want to compromise myself,
Yeah,
because
boxing will get you in trouble. A lot of guys get a lot of trouble because boxing is their mistress, and their family gets upset with them.
Oh, with the fight being in the casino, the fans will able to bet on the fight, or they don't have that featuring yet.
They do have sports book there. I don't know if they're going to put the fight on the board. I don't know.
Okay.
We talked about it, so that's something will remain to be seen. I know we're having a press conference. I think the 14th we're having a press conference there. We'll have some word out there. Hang on a minute. Yo, the Chihuahuas are going crazy over here. Talking to this gentleman over here. They want to be fighters too. Bring one of them. Bring Frankie over here, Louie. Bring one of them here so I can hold him. Bring him here. They're unbelievable, these guys. Who do you got? This is Frankie. Come here, Frank. Look at him. Come here, Frank. Look at Frankie. Look at him.
Oh, look at that guy. Yeah.
Look at him.
He looks ready to throw it down too.
Yeah, he's only about 3 months old, but he's a
Oh.
little guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank.
Hello, Frankie.
Frank Sinatra named him. And his little brother is Louis Primo.
Nice. Bobby, I was gonna ask you too, if you wanna, if you're willing to answer, your thoughts on the late George Foreman who passed away last week, March 21st. You fought him in September 10, 1988.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on George Foreman, and what experience can you share us from that fight?
George was a great guy. He was a great ambassador for the sport of boxing, just a great human being. And even though we fought and we will forever be connected together, I took that fight on short notice. I was supposed to fight him 3 other times. Every time they would put somebody else in and push me out. And then when it happened, I literally took the fight, I think, on like 4 days' notice. Hadn't been in the gym, hadn't been training. But because I have balls, I'll fight anybody. I don't care. I love to fight. I said, why not? Let's go make it happen. I figured, he's old. What do I care? Well, who would figure that? I think he was 36 or 38. Well, that's not old. I mean, that's a young man. But when you're in your early 20s, that guy's old. You don't need to train. And like he said to me, you need to plan your work and work your plan. So we fought. We both threw right hands. I missed mine. His hit the mark, and I went down. I got up. They shouldn't have stopped the fight, but we went out for dinner afterwards with him and
Oh, nice.
the late great Archie Moore and his whole team, and we just had a really, really nice time together and got to know him and very pleasant and then we remained friendly over all the years. I had a couple guys fight for world titles on HBO. I had Angel Hernandez and JC Candello, and he spoke about me very nicely during the broadcast. And it just, we maintained a an arm's length relationship, since the fight. Frankie, we great about this. Frank, you want down? I go play. Go play. Be nice.
No, that's great. I mean, I'm honored right now. I mean, seeing all your background, your accolades, and talking to somebody also who had shared the ring with greats and who is in the boxing world. For me, I'm truly honored, Bobby, and I appreciate you again for doing this interview.
Listen, at the end of the day, when I got word that George passed, it affected me. I really felt that, he was part of that great heavyweight era. And now, like, they're all gone. Ali, Joe Frazier, Kenny Norton, George, they're all gone now. I mean, Larry Holmes is the oldest living ex-heavyweight
Yeah.
champion. Larry is one of my favorite heavyweights of all time. But that era of heavyweight, that 60s, 70s, and the 80s era heavyweights, it's all done. It's an era that will never be seen again. I mean, and George was always in a great fight. But I got to tell you, he was such a gentleman, such a sweet guy, mean as hell in the ring,
Yeah.
outside the ring, just a real gentleman. And it was a pleasure for me to share the ring with him. And, you know, I'm kind of glad I didn't beat him, because if I would have, there never would have been the George Foreman grill. And look at all these people that would have been disappointed. Who the hell wants to eat on the Bobby Hitz grill?
The
Nobody.
boy is good, yeah.
So, so thank God he won. Otherwise, it would have been a grill.
or or probably the Bobby Hitz oven sands, and in Chicago there's the deep dish pizza where we can have
No,
a
see, deep dish isn't even a Chicago. That's not a Chicago
that's
thing.
not
That's
a Chicago.
a tourist thing. We do tavern style pizza. You know, I have an Italian restaurant that I own, called Rosebud. It's in Lamont, Illinois, and I've been in the restaurant business my whole life. So food is near and dear to my heart. I literally just had Jerry Cooney was at my restaurant not too long ago. Came in for dinner, and we spoke about both of us fighting George Foreman. I just said, "Well, Jerry, here's the difference. I got up, you didn't," and he started laughing. But Jerry Cooney, another great guy from the great heavyweight era, a gentleman. He was one of my favorite heavyweights growing up, and to be friends with him is an honor for me. Boxing gives us a lot of opportunities. You meet a lot of great people, and our fraternity is very small. In outside of the ring, everybody for the most part gets along, and it's a very nice fraternity to be a part of, and I'm just happy to be part of it. One of my ex stable mates is James Lights Out Tony, and
Oh yeah.
we were both managed by Jackie Callan. I was her first fighter, so both him and I are being inducted into the 2025 Hall of Fame class for the Hall of Fame of Indiana. So we're both going to be in the same class. So it'll be really nice to reconnect with James. We have a lot of history together, and I was in his corner that night when he knocked out Michael Nunn, and that was one of the great moments in my life. And me spending time in Detroit around Jackie and Emmanuel Stewart and Tommy Hearns, just all these great people. I got my Harvard education in boxing, and I learned about the business of boxing by being in Detroit. And I brought that back to Chicago, and we've never looked back.
You has brought me a lot of good memories of like when Showtime HBO
Yeah.
Boxing, seeing Manuel Stewart on the corner of fighter, James Tony, seeing him headlining the cards.
Yep.
Man, what?
Emmanuel was such a great guy. And even in my early promoting days, I had a deal going with Edwin Rosario, Chapo Rosario. He was
Oh yeah, yeah.
here in Chicago, and it never happened. But I was involved in trying to resurrect his career also. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people boxing purists in the island still remember Chapo Rosario and give him his honors. He
Great fighter. Great
yeah.
fighter. I had the pleasure of promoting later on in life was the guy Anthony Baby Jones out of Detroit, who was a former Kron fighter with the manual. And I resurrected his career, but he had a pretty good fight with Chapo Rosario that he took on short notice. But this thing of boxing is this much of everybody's life, and then we have our rest of our lives to be together. So it's really nice to talk about the memories and think back to being a young kid and loving Ali and Joe Frazier and and George Foreman and guys, all those guys I got to know in my life, and it's like a dream. Like I can't even believe it. Like I knew these guys. It's like unbelievable. I'm a kid, from Chicago that got to rub shoulders with the greats of our industry.
Yeah, no, you're telling me that you're telling me all of this, and look, I'm I'm like, I can't believe it, hearing it from you, like a person who live it. And when I started this channel, the last thing that threw to my mind was like being talking to, for, like example, for to a person like you with respect, well respected, with a big resume like you, and I'm gonna tell you again, I feel very honored
Oh,
that you accept the
that,
interview.
that's so nice. Yeah, and um, you just go back in your memory to just Jake LaMotta, the Raging Bull, was a friend of mine. I mean, like for me, it's like this. These were my idols. Alexis Arguello, my I like
Wow.
these guys. Ray Boom Boom Mancini. We're really good friends. I mean, he's a great guy. Like these are guys that I watched, and then so boxing really creates a lot of fantastic relationships, and even at the fights, people, true fight fans, learn to appreciate the efforts of fighters, whether they're rooting for them or not. A good, a good fighter will be recognized by all fans, and could be an adversary's fan. But at the end of the day, they say that kid can really fight. And me as a fighter, that was always my objective, no matter what I did. I mean, I only had 3 amateur fights and I turned pro. So I was at a deficit going into this business because I didn't have a lot of amateur experience. I had no experience at all. I just like to fight, like the Chihuahuas over.
No, de hecho.
God, guys, the background, can you hear them?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yo, these guys are going crazy over here. I think I'm nuts.
Well, Bobby, remind the fans again, April 19th.
April 19th, Hard Rock Casino, Rockford, Illinois. Don't miss it. Tickets are at hitzboxing.com. That's HITZ boxing.com. And like I always say, boxing, it's better live. So
Oh, yeah, that's the slogan. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
the dogs like it.
Oh, by the way, I had to confess you something. I heard when you told me about the restaurant, I was taking a look at it, and you know what? I showed it to my wife, and now I'm in trouble. And she told me, "Oh, it looks good."
Take a
We
ride down.
gotta-
Take a ride down. You won't be
No,
disappointed.
yes.
The Rosebud Restaurant Group has been around for 50 years. I am
Wow.
fortunate enough to have this store as mine, and the owner is like a father to me, and he bestowed me this great gift, and I couldn't be happier. And I've been in the business my whole life, and to be able to be part of this fantastic brand. Rosebud Restaurants are synonymous here in Chicago, and it's the best Italian food in the Midwest, bar none, I think.
No, nice. No, it looks good. As what I saw from the reviews and the picture, it looks good.
Yeah.
Bowie, where can remind people where they can follow you on social media?
Um, Bobby Hits Live on Instagram. Um, Hits Boxing Entertainment on Facebook, or Bobby Hits on Facebook. I got like my page and my fan page, and yeah, just follow me.
Yeah, and I will when I post the stuff from this interview. I will
Yeah.
also be reminding people to follow you, and also remind people to like this interview, subscribe to my channel too. And Bobby, I really appreciate your time. I'm right now feeling like the imposter syndrome. Like I can't believe I'm talking to a legend like you,
Oh, that's
and
nice. Thank you.
I'm very honored, Bobby.
No, I'm honored that you thought of me, thought enough of me to give me a call, because, that's the one thing we need to reach out and touch everybody and let them know that boxing is still alive and vibrant. It's still a great sport. And everybody always says, well, what about MMA? What about MMA? I go, that's like comparing NASCAR to Formula One racing. It's two different sports.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like their MMA, boxing people like their MMA, and there's enough for everybody. I mean, I appreciate all the fistic arts. Anytime anyone goes in the cage or climbs those steps or whatever they do, takes a lot to do that. Whether you're the best guy in the world or the worst guy in the world, I'd rather fail trying than not try at all. So I take my hat off to all these guys that have come along, whether it's the boxing greats, now everybody's in MMA, whatever floats your boat, whatever tickles your fancy. God bless you. But remember, we are all the same brotherhood, whether it's boxing, MMA, kickboxing, whatever it might be. We're all from the same brotherhood, because we're all out there one on one, mano a mano, trying to make it happen in just a little bit different types of activity. But at the end of the day, it's still the same. Everybody's going for the knockout, right? So that's
Yes,
what it's all
sir. There you have it, guys. Bobby Hits, remember April 19, Hits Boxing, Rockford, Illinois, Hard Rock Casino. Remember, Boxing is better live.
Yeah.
So
Tickets at hitzboxing.com. That's hitzboxing.com. Boxing, it's better live. Remember.
there you have it. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you so much.
Have a good
Appreciate,
night.
appreciate being with you. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Yep. All right.